Hey, what up everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you. Today we're going to be doing a little in the past review of Survivor Series 2002. An awesome pay-per-view that I checked out the other day with my good old buddy, the RKO infamous NWO, Justin Subrian himself. We watched this on Skype one night. We were bored. We were killing some time and you're saying, wow, why would you review a Survivor Series in this such a weird time? But this was the first Elimination Chamber match. Before it was its own pay-per-view, this was brought up by Eric Bischoff when they were going back and forth doing the gimmick of who had the better show, or he and Stephanie McMahon had a feud going back and forth where basically Stephanie had stolen Brock Lesnar and made him exclusive to SmackDown, so they were just sort of trying to top each other back and forth. So at the pay-per-view, he debuted the Elimination Chamber as a big way to show Stephanie McMahon to pretty much. This was a really good show. 2002 was a great year in wrestling, so good that at the end of it, I stopped. But basically that was because of a horrible Scott Steiner versus Triple H feud that I've talked about 1,000 times in the past. DVD, really good stuff, packed with some good action. I recommend this is a show you should watch on the network. If not, go out and buy the DVD yourself. It's not going to cost you a ton of money, even though it's a 2002 release. But the show started. The Dudley Boyz, which was Bubba Ray and Spike, because Devon had been moved over to SmackDown, breaking up the team, going up with Jeff Hardy against 3 Minute Morning and Rico. Basically, when I always think of the Dudley Boyz being broken up, I think they were trying to do something that was supposed to be like dramatic, something that was supposed to be brought up because of the big draft split. They wanted to break up some teams so that way you could see that like this is for real. Guys are really only going to be on Raw, or guys are really only going to be on SmackDown, and you weren't going to have people just doing what they do today, just jumping all over the place. There was a magazine article that came out like pretty much the month of the draft, and the Dudleys were on the cover of it. It had a interview with them on there, and in there they asked the Dudleys, are you guys ever going to split up? And Bubba Ray said, look, I know I'm never going to go out there and become the Stone Cold Steve Austin of the WWF. There's no reason for us to break up. We're going to be a team forever because we're such a good team. And then boom, WWE Creative split them up. It made no sense. In this tables match, it was an elimination style. So basically everybody had to go through a table to have the sole survivor in order to get through there, and we got to see some carnage out there. This was some very fun action. Of course, this is in Madison Square Garden. So Jeff Hardy did his spot where he climbed up into the section of the fans and jumped off the top, and he put. I think he put Rosie through a table, doing the reincarnation of the Royal Rumble 2000 spot where he jumped off and put. Who did they fight there? They fought the Dudleys, right? In that sort of street fight. I'm pretty sure they put the Dudleys through there. I'm sure Bubba Ray or Devon were pretty glad that they didn't have to take that jump today. But one of my most memorable spots is cut off of the DVD, probably because it made him look really dumb. Was Rico climbed up to the top rope, and he's supposed to get bumped off the ropes by Jeff Hardy, but he climbed up there, and Jeff, because he had taken a bump to the opposite side of the ring, wasn't ready to get up there, and Rico was just yelling at him, "Get over here, Jeff!" And I don't know, I was looking forward to it, and it wasn't on there, and I was upset. But basically, as I said earlier, how they were saying that, guys were really only going to be on SmackDown, guys were only going to be on Raw. They hadn't given Devon a new gimmick. Devon, at the end of this match, just came on out there, interfered in the match, helped Bubba win, and the Dudleys had a good old little reunion there in the middle of the ring, celebrating their big win to kick off the pay-per-view. From there, we went to one of my favorite SmackDown guys of all time. Awesome gimmick. Jamie Noble with Nydia. They're heading out to Applebee's. They were the champion at this time. They had a match against Billy Kidman. This match honestly wasn't that great. They put the Cruiserweight Championship back onto Kidman, and I guess that was supposed to be like a big moment. But more Noble, more Nydia. In order to get that stuff, though, you would have been having to watch the TV show where they actually got to, do sort of vignettes and stuff like that. That's when they were at the top of their game. That's when they were really awesome. From there we go to Victoria beating Trish Stratus for the WWE Women's Championship. Victoria was sort of like this, they had a pretty good gimmick, a storyline going along with this match. How Victoria was an up-and-coming fitness model with Trish Stratus, and they were both trying to get into WWE at the same time, but Trish wouldn't let Victoria have any of the spotlight. So then once Victoria finally made it, Victoria was going crazy where she was seeing Trish Stratus talk to her in mirrors, and she was, beating up cardboard cutouts of Trish and all sorts of stuff. But they got to the show, and Victoria beat the piss out of her, and it was a hardcore match. Victoria got the win. She became the new champion, and, I ain't the lady to mess with, pretty much. From there we go to the WWE Championship match of the night. Big Show going up against Brock Lesnar. Storyline of this whole deal was Brock Lesnar really wanted to fight the Big Show because he was a fighting champion and he wanted to fight everybody. But Paul Heyman knew that Brock, he had been beaten up and pretty much bruised since the Hell in the Cell against The Undertaker. And he wasn't 100% sure that his client could go out there and fight the Big Show. And was trying to do everything he could do to warn Big Show, trying everything you could do to warn Brock Lesnar, hey, don't go out there because you don't know what's going to happen. You're not 100%. Big Show is a big, huge monster, and he has a chance to beat you. I think that Paul Heyman saw this as the writing on the wall, that Brock, wasn't really listening to him. Probably, didn't really need him. So there's just this weird spot in the match where Brock has the pin on Big Show. Paul Heyman breaks up the pin. Brock knows that Heyman screwed him, so he goes to chase him around the ring. Gets back in the ring, and Big Show just, boom, it's over. 1, 2, 3. I think it was supposed to be quick. Just like, ripping a Band-Aid off. Just take the title. Big Show got the hell out of there. And, Brock was on the chase again, and I don't think he would get the title again until Mania. I think he would win the Rumble this year and then go on to Mania, I'm pretty sure. And that's how he would get his WWE Championship back. But he wouldn't win it from Big Show. He'd win it from Kurt Angle. Here, the next match is a very, very fun, classic, three-way elimination style tag team match. This is when SmackDown was at the top of its game. Everything was revolving around tag teams, and it was freaking awesome. This is Los Guerreros going out there against Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit against a team of Edge and Rey Mysterio, who came into this as the champions. Basically, any tag team match that was put on SmackDown at the time, the guys, even though you would think, today, so many times you just see guys get paired up and put out there as go out there and do what you can do. We've seen teams like Cody Rhodes and Damian Sandow and some other teams, just go out there and try and get hot. And if they do get hot, then they just get sort of pushed to the back. But I mean, if you were on SmackDown at this time and they put you in a tag team, they knew that, you were going to go all for it. You were probably going to get some TV main events and you were going to get some good spots on pay-per-views because that's what was really, really being pushed at the time. And this was awesome. The original SmackDown 6 at the time was Team Angle, the Los Guerreros guys, and then you had any other team that was going along with them. This was really, really fun. This was really, really good stuff. The Guerreros ended up being the guys that come out as the champion. I thought that Angle and Benoit were gonna win the title this night because they did a vignette earlier in the show where they were trying to get Angle, he was trying to back out of the tag team, but he was trying to make it look like Benoit was the one that didn't want to team with him. But Benoit sort of got in his face, saying that they were going to do this, they were going to be a team. There was a time when Guerreros hit Benoit in the back of the head with a belt, and they threw the belt to Angle to make it look like Angle hit him in Guerrero's fashion. So Benoit got pinned, they got eliminated, and then they would just build the angle to where they're supposed to go with Benoit versus Angle, and Guerrero set themselves up for the big win here as well. Edge and Mysterio were an awesome team. They set each other up. I've read where Edge says he likes tagging with Christian, but he said he would tag with Rey Mysterio any day, and he always had a lot of fun in that team. And then we go to the big Elimination Chamber match. This was always fun. This was crazy because of the one fact nobody really knew what this was going to be. We'd never seen this match. They'd shown us vignettes of them building the cage. They'd seen stuff on Confidential on what the cage was going to be about. But Justin was telling me, like, when you tuned in and you watched Saturday Night Heat, or no, Sunday Night Heat, which was like the pregame show on MTV, like that last 1 hour commercial to try to make you watch it, the free-for-all, if you will, where they had a match between Lance Storm and William Regal going up against Goldust and the Hurricane. They didn't even show the top of the arena because they didn't want to show you what the Elimination Chamber was. They wanted to make sure that you bought the show in order to get it. They didn't want anybody getting any free looks or anything like that, but the match started out itself with everybody coming down to the ring. Triple H and Rob Van Dam kicked off, and they were really going at it. They were going at it pretty good. We saw Van Dam throwing Triple H into the cage like probably 10 times in a row. So, Triple H was cut open and he was bloodied right after the bat. Everybody that was in this match, they had heat with Triple H. Everybody, had some sort of a feud. Nobody liked that Triple H was just handed the championship. Everybody felt that they, should have something to go along with it. Kane was pissed. Booker T was mad. Booker T would go on and he'd get his shot at WrestleMania 19, so his stock is still up on the rise. Jericho teamed with Triple H. He was the heel that was in there, but everybody knows that Jericho and Triple H don't really like each other. And Chris Jericho really had a potty mouth during this. He kept on yelling at the guys, kept on yelling at the crowd. Whole lot of cuss words from Chris Jericho. Really wasn't expecting that. I guess I'm used to the PG era Jericho, where he doesn't really react to people the way like he used to. But that was really weird. But then again, this is coming off the end of the Attitude Era, and I guess people could say whatever they wanted to, and most people liked Jericho, so I guess if he cussed at him, that was one way to get some cheap heat here. I was wrong about the spot because I hadn't seen it in so long. When I did my top 5 Elimination Chamber moments of all time, I said it was near the ending of the match, but actually Van Dam comes off the top and crushes Triple H's larynx very, very early in this match. And you see Triple H sort of just lay there on the ground like he's dead, and he crawls to the outside to the point where you don't even really know he's in this match anymore. But Booker T goes out there. He eliminates Rob Van Dam, and Van Dam's out of there. Pretty soon right after that, Jericho hits the Lion Salt, followed by a choke slam on Booker T. That pins him, and Booker T's out of there. And Kane just sort of disappeared from the match. I don't know how I missed it, but he was out of the match. Then it just came down to Jericho, Triple H, and Shawn Michaels. And there were so many times in this match that honestly Shawn Michaels could have been eliminated, but Jericho and Triple H honestly just couldn't get along. And just, I don't know. I'm yelling at the TV because, most of the time I'm cheering for the heels anyways. Even though it's a match from 10 years ago, I wanted Triple H to win it somehow. But, basically Jericho gets eliminated when they're going back and forth in a pretty cool spot, with all 3 guys connecting, and then it just ends up being Shawn Michaels versus Triple H, the match we all came to see. They're reliving SummerSlam 2002. There's so much of their, rivalry that's built back into this, where Triple H wants to be the guy. He wants to show that he's better than Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels wants to show that he came back for a reason, and he's always going to be the best there. Well, that's pretty bad to call him the best there is, and when you got Bret Hart going around. But it's just awesome. That like Triple H came other way around. Wasn't it Shawn came to Triple H? Yeah, Shawn came to Triple H, and he said he wanted to join up D-Generation X. That's when they had the mini reunion on Raw, and that's when Triple H gave him the pedigree, and it was basically on from there. And we saw Triple H do every wrong thing there is to Shawn Michaels, where he beat him up when he was in a wheelchair, and just this was the retribution. This was it. This was the big present on Christmas morning. This was Shawn Michaels in the Elimination Chamber, walking out as the World Heavyweight Champion. This was awesome. This was really good stuff. There was confetti flying everywhere. Madison Square Garden did it up right. This was an awesome show. I had one guy tweeting me on Twitter. It's going to take me too long to pull up what his name was. It was last night. I was tired. But he was telling me that his DVD is scratched, and he can only watch the last 3 matches of the show. So he was saying this was actually going to be the first pay-per-view that he watches, because it's one of his favorites to watch. So check this out on the network, everybody. Survivor Series 2002, the first Elimination Chamber.